Somewhere, and right now that somewhere is right here. Welcome, I am Janae Burris.
And I'm Jake Brown. Welcome to the Cannabis Show. We talk all things weed. It's good to be back in Colorado. How are you, Janae?
I'm fantastic. Of course, as usual.
Yeah, just per usual.
Per use, here with some bigger hair this week. Which is a dangerous move in the middle of the summer.
I'm doing, this is my desert beard from being out in the middle of the wilderness.
It looks so post-apocalyptic.
Doesn't it? I've got a
lovely.
little neck beard in there.
Yeah.
It's real gross.
You're like a grown man right now.
Look at me, I'm all grown up. What's new in your world?
What's new in my world?
Okay. Same here.
Nothing's new. Just living, just managing the beat. Oh, I was talking about. Wanted to talk about my hair lady, but who wants to hear about my hair lady on a weed show? I do. There should be weed in these salons because it's kind of painful to get your hair braided. And I'm like, there should be some new market for some kind of like hair grease or something, cannabis-related hair grease.
Cannabis-related hair grease. That seems, that would work, right?
Like the same thing you do with the topical CBD type of stuff. I was just there, and it's very painful to get your hair braided. And I'm like, somebody could be making so much money with some sort of oil sheen product. But once again, I'm asking black people to get involved in the weed industry, and it is kind of weird right now getting involved. So
my barber is like obsessed with being able to have like people just smoking blunts in his chair while he cuts hair, because he's like third generation. His grandfather would always just have like old guys with cigars that come around. It was very much like that barber shop atmosphere, and so he's like, I just want that, but with blunts.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, in my neighborhood, a lot of people were cutting hair in their garages, and there was a lot of smoke signals going up. So that's how you do it. That sounds just about right to me. I love that idea. All right, in our nation's capital, arrests for the use of marijuana in public have tripled within the last year. That's right, arrests for smoking weed.
Ooh.
America is currently trying to have its cake and eat it too, making millions in taxes from the sale of marijuana, but then, gotcha, no smoking the weed we just sold you. Unfortunately, arrests for the distribution of pot have also tripled, okay? So didn't we already learn in Colorado, also part of America, that if you legalize the sale of marijuana and make it accessible, that part is very important, okay? Make it accessible. The black market all but disappears completely, save a few backpack entrepreneurs selling to 18-year-olds. This problem has a very simple solution, DC. Okay, advocates are critical of the arrests, saying that they disproportionately affect people of color and the economically disadvantaged. Oh, really? You don't say. Hey there, hi, I'm Janae Burris. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Post-Reconstruction America, disproportionately imprisoning colored folks since 1865. Enjoy your stay. Adam Ettinger, the head of an advocacy group which lobbied for legalized marijuana, DCMJ, was arrested twice in April, and he points out that the right to smoke marijuana could only be enjoyed by private property owners. That's like a really good point that he's making there. Oh yeah, that old American trick, you guys remember? I got a song here, Jake, you ready?
Yes.
Me. My country supposedly sweet land of inequality, of the ice cream land where my father was murdered because redlining kept him relegated to an underserved and dangerous neighborhood, land of way too much pride, from every mountainside let us smoke weed.
Yeah.
Change it. It was God Save the Queen. That was just my take on God Save the Queen, you guys. That was not America.
God Save the Cream as well.
God Save the Cream. God Save the Cream.
That's crazy. I mean, because here we are in Denver. We are 3 years after voters approved recreational marijuana. We're just starting to figure out where people can smoke pot that's not private property.
Yeah, that seems like something that should have been solved at the same time. I don't know. People.
Why aren't they just writing this into the laws?
Yeah, it seems like just a setup to get you kind of more reasons to put people in jail for smoking weed. You know, just.
Barbershop only laws. Let's start there. It's just if you can get a haircut, you can smoke a blunt, and then that's
I like
it.
that. Start with barbershop.
So sorry, bald people. You're gonna have to get straight razor shaves from here on out.
All right.
And that's a bummer. Moving to California, where they're looking to clean up when recreational marijuana goes legal in 2018. But one government official was literally cleaning up when he found weed and a lot of it. Mike Classens, city councilman from La Crescenta. Yep.
Beautiful Spanish.
Thank you. I've been practicing. Que bueno. I was doing cleanup on the 210 when he found 15 pounds of weed, noting it, quote, emitted a really strong odor. That's impressive for whoever grew it, because what he found was really trim. It's like you found a message in a bottle, but it was just a free week of premium LinkedIn. You're like, oh, awesome, thanks. It's a sign of the times, though, that Lieutenant Mark Slater says they'd probably charge the person with illegal dumping, dumping, but didn't mention anything about that dumping of 15 pounds of weed. Now, if you'd like to claim the bags, you can reach the LA County Sheriff's Office at 323-820-6700. And as a bonus, you'll be featured on the Cannabis Dumbest Criminals list.
Oh, nice. Who amongst us doesn't appreciate a bit of discretion? Shh, don't answer that. Okay. INDVR endeavors to offer a solution for those of you who Google under the incognito tab with their femme-faced focused lipstick and mascara vape pens. Ooh la la, ladies. Now you can smoke pretty. It's almost like vaping like a spy. A lady spy, though. And while the female vaping population currently making up the majority of new consumers, according to an ongoing study by BDS Analytics, may appreciate the effort of vape pens designed with her in mind, what she really wants is a vape pen that works well.
Amen.
Okay, Jake, you know I'm all for all things lady focused, but damn it, it better be good, okay? We're making 77 cents on the dollar, gentlemen. 77 cents. 73 cents for African American women. Don't F with our money unless you come correct, son. Check out the website, The Cannabis, for thoughtful reviews on the lipstick and mascara vape pen by the Cannabis' own Lindsay Bartlett.
Yeah, congrats, Lindsay. I was excited to see her first piece up.
Yeah.
I've known Lindsay for a while, and it was like a really thoughtful review.
Yeah,
Sometimes
a great angle on that.
Like vaporizers are hard. It's like a vaporizer is kind of a vaporizer, is another vaporizer, where'd it come from, what's the element? But here I was like, oh, what an interesting talk about feminism and vaporizers and where they intersect.
Yeah, it was very thoughtful because I saw that, but then she delved into it deeper, and I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, it's trying to make me like we don't need to have it in a lipstick case. That's almost too...
It's a little on the nose, right?
It's a little on the nose.
It's like if they made me like a beef jerky shaped vape pen. People are like, why do you just have a stick of beef jerky in your pocket? And I'm like, you don't know me very well. All right. If you live in the city that never sleeps, you may have an easier time finding a medical professional that can help you get some rest. Doctors, nurse practitioners, and physician's assistants across the state of New York are now able to register online and certify patients the very same day. May not be as easy as becoming an ordained minister, to marry your hippie friends, but the state needed more docs after adding chronic pain to their list of qualifying conditions back in March. They saw a 34% increase in patients, so it was a big one. I mean, anytime you add chronic pain, it seems like there's a huge uptick. Let's get some physicians in there. There's also a bill to add PTSD to that list, and that's headed to Governor Cuomo's desk. So it's good to see one of the most restricted programs in the country loosen up a little bit. Good on you, New York.
Nice. It's a good idea.
I'm excited it was such a weird program. At first they were like, there's no smokable marijuana. You have to have one of like a very, very small number of conditions. I don't know. If you're in New York and you're out there trying the weed, let us know what's going on. I don't really know anybody who's a patient out there. It's weird because it's usually like a new state comes on and everybody's like, oh yeah, I got the weed now.
Yeah, I only know recreational users, which is not legal. Okay, I don't know anybody in New York who smokes weed. I take it back. I don't know anybody in New York who smokes weed. Okay, all right. Nevada's out of weed. Nevada's out of weed. Okay, then so that's why I read that story and I was just like, I panicked just at the headline of it. Nevada's not necessarily out of weed, not completely just yet, but running on fumes, according to the Associated Press. I'm so scared. I'm really scared, guys. I've still got a couple weeks before I meet my family in Vegas, and there's no way I can do it without my medicine. All right, don't play with me, Nevada. All right. Hell hath no fury like a way too sober me. Stephanie Klapstein of the Nevada Tax Department says retailers reported that since legalization, they have gotten twice as much business as they expected and fear their shelves will be empty by August. Okay, that's right around the corner. A ballot measure approved by voters in November decrees that licensed alcohol wholesalers have the exclusive rights to pot distribution licenses for 18 months. Yes, you'd have to currently be in the liquor business to get into the legal marijuana business. That's kind of tough. Does this even make sense, Nevada? Marijuana has the potential to compete with and possibly replace alcohol for adults looking for a little enhanced recreational experience. So it makes absolute sense that none of the alcohol wholesalers have completed the licensing process. Why should they, right? They're not going to help marijuana in running them out of business. How frustrating for us tourists, though, who are really looking forward to finding the perfect recreational balance of wine and weed. All right, there's some light at the end of the tunnel, though. The governor has announced his endorsement of emergency regulations to facilitate the issuing of distribution licenses, all right?
Which is always a good sign, like when you're a week into your launch and you're like, emergency rule.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least they're doing it, though. You know, all's not lost just yet, but an emergency just a weekend is like it was great that they got the weed on the shelves so fast.
Sure.
That was really great.
Feeling breakneck.
But it's like they didn't think past a week. I don't think they had no clue how badly people want this stuff.
And I will say, some of that Vegas weed already has made its way into California, where I saw some last weekend.
You saw it?
Oh yeah, I smoked some Vegas weed.
Okay,
I was pretty impressed. Good work, Vegas.
Really?
I don't want to indict anybody. I can't indict anybody. But yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Okay.
But you know, you gotta have more than, they were like, oh yeah, we got a few months supply, and then all of a sudden it's like, we have a few days supply.
Right.
They underestimated how much
Do you think
people want to
people
smoke.
started going in oh my, hearing the word about it kind of running out and going in and maybe making multiple purchases, kind of stocking up at home?
If I lived in Las Vegas, I would be like, yes. But get me all of the chips, please.
I would be doing that. Oh man, for sure, I'd have a stockpile.
Yeah.
I hope I have a friend in Vegas who has a stockpile, please God.
Yeah, who do we know in Vegas? If you're a dispensary in Vegas, reach out to the show. Let us know. Janae's going to be headed your way. Let's make something happen. A big story that caught my eye this week, Janae, is the state of Colorado's schools. Now, especially when we talk about these new states that are coming online, we hear about all of the tax revenue that's going to help with various programs here in Colorado. It was construction programs, and the Denver Post's own Monty Whaley took a deep dive look at how those funds are actually being used in the state. Now, the $147 million that was ejected into the Building Excellent Schools Today, or BEST program, is no laughing matter, and there hasn't been a single school district that has turned down the funds. Surprise! It's like an extra chocolate milk at lunch. You just say, yes, thank you. But one study put the amount of money that's needed in capital construction at $18 billion through 2018 in the state. So while weed taxes are doing a small part, it's also like trying to pay your rent with the change you take into Coinstar. And you're like, all right, how much is this going to be? Like 20, 25? Yeah. So it's fine to be proud of the revenue that we're generating. We buy a pre-roll here in Colorado. We also need to be realistic about the amount of good that it can do and the terrible shape of our schools in Colorado. $18 billion, and we're like, well, we chipped in $147 million.
I've been hearing all of this, the goodness of the grants that all the schools are getting, you know,
and it's mostly rural schools too, which I mean need the most help.
And I was hoping that California would also start to feel that goodness of the tax revenue, because California schools are some of the worst, one of the richest. Anyway, some of the worst schools. So I was really hoping that for them. So this is kind of disheartening to hear, because that's just a drop in the bucket, really.
Totally, and I mean that's what people that oppose cannabis, legalization always point to, is they go, you're generating a little tax revenue, it's cute, so go out and buy more weed, people.
Buy more weed, but not in Nevada. Take it easy, Nevada. Slow down.
For more on all of these stories, visit us online at thecannabis.co. Now, from a tinier, more serious desk, let's head to Loveland, Colorado, and meet Riley, a dog dog whose owner, Astana, is giving her CBD in a first-of-its-kind double-blind research study at the Colorado State University's Veterinary Teaching Hospital. Let's go meet Riley.
Can you say hi to everyone? You like the Marcos? Yeah.
Retreat into the room. You see that down there? Go get that. Ready? Come see. Come on, come on, come on. Come in. Come in. Not even close. We're too fast.
These are, as far as I know, the first placebo-controlled, double-blinded clinical trials using a CBD product in dogs.
Our product, they do test it, and it's less than 0.3% THC, so it's actually not anything psychoactive.
Originally, honestly, it was via clients and referring veterinarians that would call in asking questions about using it in their own animals or using it in clients' animals, and what do we know about it? Do we know if it's safe? Do we know if it works?
There's a ton of people who have contacted us trying to get information on dosing and what we're using. Unfortunately, because we're still in the clinical trial stages, we certainly can't say anything for sure. That's not what we're testing for right now. Right now, we're really just looking at the efficacy of everything, of whether or not it even is going to work.
We decided to look at the safety and toxicity as well as the pharmacokinetic side of the drug. And a lot of clients were either dosing their own animals with their own edibles or other products that they were receiving for their own ailments, and that, as you can imagine, is not safe at all. We expect to enroll all of our dogs and have completed the actual study within that 2-year range. This is a whole plant extract, and so it is strain specific. So it may be a little bit hard to take the results of this study and assume that any product that has CBD in it is going to do the same thing.
All right, our guest today helps people plan parties where pot is always plentiful. Join me in welcoming Shannon Donnelly to the show. Hello.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Healthy Honeys, I was like telling everybody you're gonna be coming on, and they're like, well, I would like some honey. I find honey delicious. I have a sore throat. I could use some. But you are not a honey service, right? You're no bees.
No bees, no medicated honey, no CBD honey.
All right, so let's clear the air right now.
So we are called Healthy Honeys because the women that actually go out and have our parties are considered our honeys.
Okay.
So we have 25 honeys all around the country that have healthy honey parties that are either women, weed, and wine, women, weed, and wellness, marijuana and mothers, and the healthy couple, how marijuana can actually help your relationships.
Okay, I was like, all right, there's some great alliteration here, and then I was like, the healthy couple, THC.
Yes.
Nailed it. Okay. Well played. So how long have you been doing this?
So I've been in the Colorado cannabis industry since 2007, and then Healthy Honeys I started in 2013.
Was there even an industry back in 2007? What were you doing?
So I started in one of the first kind of gray area dispensaries that opened in Wheat Ridge, and there was no licensing or anything like that, but I was making edibles in my friend's kitchen.
Oh yeah, go Wheat Ridge.
Yeah, exactly. And then kind of working throughout the years, managing dispensaries, I really saw a need for education for women in the cannabis space. So what strains are best for me, what products are best, and how do we get that out there in the most comfortable environment, which is really at home. And that's why I started Healthy Honeys, and now we have all the women having the parties around the country.
All right, so what does a party look like? Just give me like a sample, like if I'm doing weed, wine, and women.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
The WWW?
Yes.
Okay, that's the package I ordered. And I'm a woman that is interested in learning more about cannabis.
Yeah, so you invite maybe 7 to 10 of your friends over, and depending on the party, we have a little bit of a theme.
Okay.
You'll have a Healthy Honey that comes and kind of shares her own personal story with cannabis, and then with Women, Weed, and Wine, it's kind of our cannabis ladies night. So with that party, we focus on what strains are best for sex and what strains are best for relaxing you, and then how do you go out and have fun using cannabis instead of using alcohol.
Okay.
So
It's kind of like similar to pleasure parties. You ever been to a pleasure party?
They won't ever let me stay. They're like, it's the pleasure party time.
Yeah,
you don't know anything about that,
with
Jake.
you in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out.
very,
Well, that
very
sounds
similar.
like fun.
Yeah, and we actually came out with a cannabis CBD CBD lube last year. So that's one of the parties that we talk a lot about, our cannabis lube and how it really helps women on a regular basis be able to pleasure themselves and their husbands.
So why infuse a lube with CBD?
Because it can help with actually the pain relief that certain women get from having intercourse, because a lot of the women who come to Healthy Honeys have chronic pain. And so one of our honeys deals with a condition called IC that actually causes it so that her liver or her bladder is actually folded over.
Oh, no.
And so it's very painful for her.
Wait, is it not usually folded over?
No, it's
okay, good to know.
Yeah, it's usually just kind of like this, and hers is like kind of folded over a little bit. So it's very painful for her to have intercourse. And so until she used the CBD lube with her partner, it just wasn't really working. And then she used it, and she's actually pregnant.
Wow! So, congratulations! Yeah. Can we give her a shout out?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure.
You gotta be pregnant. That's great.
Wait, so that's like a very inspiring story about people. Now, I've heard some people that say, listen, don't ever use an infused lube. That's something that you want medical grade product, right? Something that you're using, it's going inside of your body, especially some very sensitive areas of your body with lots of different, what I'm going to call cells or receptors.
Yeah.
So
I think the way
Dr. Jake.
Yeah, Dr. Jake, just say it with confidence.
Yeah. What we usually call it is a mucous membrane.
Okay.
And the thing is
that's less sexy to me.
There you go.
That's
Yeah. But that's why it works for women better than men sometimes as well. But our products actually, we work with an herbalist, and I help formulate. They're a base product that have been used for the last 80 years with herbs, and then now we're just including CBD in it to actually help the efficacy of the product.
Great.
So our lube worked before as very moisturizing, but now it has the added benefits of helping with inflammation, helping kind of with the sensitivity, and then also we're getting feedback that it is helping some men stay longer because of the vascular dilation with CBD down there.
Now, when you say stay longer, guys are just like, what?
Yeah. Explain this one to Jake.
Yeah, wait, is this going to be like the future, like little blue pill, except it's just a little oil pill? And
I really feel that everyone who has used it, who uses lube on a regular basis, is just tossing their other lube. They're like, this is what I need. This is what I want to use.
Where are they throwing it at?
They're just throwing it in the trash.
People that need moisturizer?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is becoming like a replacement lube for people.
Yes, and we actually have some larger companies like Romantics that is going to start selling our Healthy Honeys lube, because they're finding that CBD lube is actually something that people are coming in on a regular basis asking for, and this is a national chain that now wants to carry our products.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's huge news.
Yeah.
So you said that every Healthy Honey has a personal story about how and that's kind of how things start. If somebody wants to become a Healthy Honey, what do they do? Do you fill out the online form and then you're an ordained Healthy Honey?
No, that's not how it works. Right now, you can come onto our website and you can actually apply to become a Healthy Honey, but in order to actually sell the products, you have to do a 5-hour training. So in Colorado, we have a training once every 2 months, and we sit down and the women have to work through their stories. Why do you use cannabis? Why does your family use cannabis? And why is it best? And then after the training, they're educated on CBD, absorption methods, THC, and all of our different products, and then also how to have the parties. So that's a little bit different than some of the other direct sales companies in the cannabis space, that you can just go on, sign up, and now you're a representative and able to sell these products without any real education of why does this product work for this condition compared to another condition.
Yeah, it kind of, there's some of them out there that feel like it's like a, I don't want to say pyramid scheme, but it is kind of shaped like a triangle.
Yeah.
And you make more money at the top of it. So that seems weird to me. But I think that education about CBD is so important. You know, in 5 hours, how much of that can you accomplish? Do you feel like what you're giving people is enough information to go out and talk to people, you know, not only about like their own bodies and kind of recreational side of it, but also the medical side?
I do really feel that, because over the 10 years that I've been in the cannabis industry and working with over 30,000 patients, I've developed this training. And so I usually do it for the legal market and do it for bud tenders, but I've actually changed it to be specifically for women, for Healthy Honeys. So they leave there and they are so educated that they cannot even believe the information that they just learned. And I like to blow people's minds during that training, like, hey, this is why CBD works different when you're taking it as a sublingual compared to systemic, and that's why we're using this acute method compared to a tonic.
Janae, I have to get you to one of these parties, right?
I was going to say, do I need to ask Alex or Vince to have this party? Because I don't need to work for them. I just want to have the party and buy the product. So I feel like that's
You gotta send like a video camera along. Like, we're just gonna sign up Vince for this on the air.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it.
Vince, bring the camera. You're the only man invited.
Bring the baby. It's fine. She's just learning to start young.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it sounds like I could imagine after doing the 5 hours of training that people become more curious, because the more I learned about cannabis and the science of it, the more I want to investigate and find out. I mean,
And the way that I train people as well is that they want to learn more about how it works in their own body. Like, oh, I used a tincture and it worked really well for me. Why does a brownie not work? And then talking with their friends and family about what they're dealing with. And they really do dive in more after the training. And then that's the same thing with our at-home parties as well. As people come to the parties, and half the women who show up are like, well, I need more information now. I want to become a healthy honey myself. And so we love to have people coming in who are very novice about cannabis, because we keep it on that higher level, and then we're able to kind of delve in when they come to the actual training and become an actual honey.
Okay, now do things look really different in, say, like a market like Chicago versus, Colorado, where they've got medical, here we're fully recreational, or is it kind of the same experience no matter where?
No, it's very different depending on where we actually have the parties. And so in the Midwest, actually people are very, very excited to come to the parties, but they're very scared to come out of what I like to call the green closet. So it's not like they're going online saying, I'm coming to a women, weed, and wine event. We don't know how many people are coming to those events because people just end up showing up.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, oh, we had 4 people RSVP and 35 showed up. But the one thing that I would say is that the people who are coming on as honeys in these other states are really finding that they're able to sell the product really well, because there is a wealth of knowledge and people want to be educated.
Now, how concerned are you about all of this upcoming kind of farm bill controversy? The DEA saying, hey, we still consider, CBD a Schedule 1 drug. Does that create uncertainty for you as a, small to medium to now probably large business owner?
I obviously have lawyers that I work with at, and talk about what's coming out. But really right now we are sell industrial hemp products. And so I am not worried with the industrial hemp bill. Obviously we are very careful where we do expand. Right now we are not bringing on any honeys in states that are not decriminalized for marijuana, just because I look at it as sometimes police officers don't know and they're not as educated. And so I personally years ago got arrested for hash oil because they thought it was heroin. And so it was on my birthday. It was a horrible, horrible thing. But that's also why I'm very, very careful about where we bring people on and where we have healthy honey parties, to make sure that we're also, watching out for our honeys who are coming on to work for us.
Wait, so you got arrested on your birthday and they were like, for heroin? They were like, we found your heroin, ma'am. Birthday party over.
Yeah, I actually left my bag at a fish show and they went through it, and it was in 2011, so right when hash oil just came out, and it was some black tarry stuff, and my badge was in there, my medical card was in there, and they called me and said, hey, you can come pick up your purse. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, you got to pick it up at the police station though. And I was like, oh, well, it's my birthday, got to get out of here. And then they said their drug person, it was in Commerce City, and they said their drug person wasn't in for the day, and so they wanted to book me like I was getting a felon for heroin. And then they called me about 3 months later and let me know that, oh, it was weed. Sorry, we ruined your birthday. No big deal. But that is also why I'm really careful about, where we are bringing these products out, because we want to make sure that the women are educated about their products, but also their surrounding communities, understand that this isn't something like heroin.
You have to be careful also, I think, with offering pleasure to women. That could get you in trouble, too. You know where we live. Be careful. Government hears about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing it in Nevada?
So we are going to reach out to Las Vegas, hopefully in like October or December this year.
All right, so you get plans.
So not by the end of July.
Yeah, so they'll be weed by the time we get there. But I'm really excited to branch out there.
Like something for the whole family?
I have so many, like my aunts and sisters and everybody's gonna hang out and.
Yeah.
But you would describe your family as like kind of curious, right?
A couple of them, but they're pretty religious, so they will definitely go based on the laws. They're like, well, the law says I can't do it. So Nevada, they might be more interested because it's legalized. So we could at least talk about it, and I don't think they would be ready to smoke, but they might be ready for some lubrication. Like, I mean, they're weird about drugs, but they're real weird about sex. So, so they might like it.
And that is why we are very careful about the women that we bring on, that all of our parties are very branded. They feel very comfortable for your grandmother to come, your mother to come. There isn't a lot of people, smoking bongs everywhere, and it's, like an opium den or something like that. It's very,
no offense
very,
to opium dens.
Nothing that. But very, very well branded. Feels very comfortable for your parents to be there and your mother to be there. I mean, our target demographic is 45 and older women because we understand that they're not the ones coming into dispensaries. They want to be educated about these products. A lot of our honeys are a little bit younger, and they come on to educate their grandparents and their mom. We do have our oldest honey right now is 55, and she is awesome, and she's one of our best salespeople because all of her friends are the ones that want to buy the product. But that's our main demographic.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's awesome. Let's go right now to a little education of our own. Let's go to pot or not. Boom, boom, boom. If you haven't played the game before, what I'm going to do, I've got 10 things here. Some of them are pot, some of them are not. What I need you to do is tell me, is it the name of a strain or is it the name that's insane? I don't know. All right.
Man, Jake, you are getting so good. Alliterations, rhymes, puns.
It's all on the table.
Actually hosting a game show for us.
Yeah, isn't that what we're doing right now, though?
Welcome to the game. All right, Shannon, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, number 1, moral turpitude.
Not pot.
That is not pot. 1 point. That's actually from Twitter fan at Jack Anna Pesordi on Twitter. Congratulations. I hope I got that even close to right. We're sending you out a, what is it, a toker poker from last week's episode because we picked yours as long as you are of legal age to receive a lighter accessory. All right, disclaimer done. And don't forget that you can submit your own pot or not to us on Twitter. Just use hashtag pot or not, of course, or do it on another social media network. We check them all, apparently. All right, question number 2. Is turkey neck a strain?
Yes, pot.
It is not pot. Just a fun thing to catch crabs with sometimes. Put a turkey neck on a string, dangle it off of a dock. Crabs get right on there. I like doing that. All right, number 3, marijuana.
Yes, pot.
That is definitely pot, one of my favorite strains. All right, 2 points already, 2 out of 3. This might be threatening a high score here. Number 4, great white shark.
Yes. Pot.
Definitely pot.
Yeah,
Oh, super
Found that for
skunk.
years.
Hey, I'm working this bell today. Nice job.
All right, number 5, effing loser.
Not pot.
It's actually pot.
What?
That's Mr. Max Snacks cross of Blues Clues and White Rhino. I think it's a Cali strain.
Someone let their dad name that?
Effing loser.
Yeah, smoke your pot, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're on to number 6, Dirty Widow.
Yes.
That is. Hey, Janae, right on.
I know.
I do not approve of Dirty Widow, for the record. I think it's a terrible name. It's Dirty Girl crossed with White Widow. What about number 7, Lemon Cake?
Yes.
That is.
Yes. That's a great strain. I've smoked it before.
You are. All right, we have 3 more. A high score is definitely in play. Number 8, Dancing Bear.
Yes.
It's not.
Not.
Dancing Bear, actually the name of a strip club in Portland.
I was thinking some Grateful Dead grower, like
Sure,
put that
they would
together,
have the
you know.
Dancing Bear.
It's across.
All right, number 9, Banana Runts.
Sounds like California. No.
It is not.
Oh!
It is not a strain. Why would you ever make Banana Runts? The candy's already bad enough. All right. This one is for the tie high score. Tie the high score right here. This could be it. Number 10, calcium.
I'm gonna say no.
It's not. It just makes strong bones.
I'm so proud of myself.
I'm very proud too. That's what 10 years experience in the industry looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Do work. All right. What can we plug? Where can people find you online? Get involved.
Yeah. So healthyhoneys.co is where you can buy all of our products, and then we have a Women, Weed, and Wellness event coming up in New York City on August 3rd. So you can check out our Facebook for that. Our Facebook is Healthy Honeys. Our Instagram is Healthy Honeys MJ, and our Twitter is Denver Ladies 420.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jane, what do you got going on?
I got where am I looking? You know, I don't have many shows coming up other than my regular Pussy Bros Presents every first Friday, and then we have a Monday show at Rack House, which we're probably moving to Saturday soon. But shout out to Rack House Brewery for being a really awesome sponsor. Sex Pot Comedy, really awesome sponsor. Comedy Works for putting me up. End.
All right, awesome. And I will be back out in California next week. So if you're in the Bay Area, I will be in town on Monday and Tuesday. Let's hang out. Thanks so much to Shannon Donnelly for joining us today. Thanks to you, the listener, for tuning in. If you would like to have more people watch the show, do this. Share it out with a friend. Yeah. Share it out with an enemy. Turn up your headphones. Share it with the person sitting next to you on the bus. For Janae Burrs, producer Vince, and the whole Cannabis Show crew, I'm Jake Brown. We'll see you next week.
I'll say it again. Ain't afraid to get in. I'll be going for the jackpot with aces in my hand. I'm raw.